Hope you are all good. Okay. Don't believe any rumors around your area. This is very important. I'm telling you. Please submit your classwork in this week without fail. Okay. From now onwards, write all the classworks. Submit your classwork for physics without fail. Again, I'm telling you. I saw some of the classworks is good. If you have any doubt, just feel free to ask me. Okay. On this week we're gonna learn about errors in measurement. Okay, errors in measurement. Okay, what is mean by errors? What is mean by errors in the measurement? It's nothing but errors are uncertainty predictable. It is called errors. Okay. For example, if I am measuring something, length or time or water mass, maybe water depth, anything, something the error will occur. It's a common one. Okay, there are three types of error basically. The first one is systematic error. What is mean by systematic error? Systematic errors occurs randomly. That means it occurs frequently. Once the systematic errors occurs, it will be continued throughout the experiment. Okay. For example, without knowing the temperature, you are starting the experiment. After your conclusion will be in the error. Okay, or the result will be in the error in the form of, because you doesn't know about the temperature of room. Maybe the room temperature is 29, but your experiment will be works on only 30-degree temperature. Then you doesn't know about that temperature. Then you can start the procedure and you can take all the readings. After you are ending, the result will become error. Okay, so systematic errors are common one. Second one is random errors. Third one, gross errors. Random errors. Okay. Now listen. In systematic errors, there are 5 types. The first one is instrumental error. What is that? Instrumental error. What is mean by instrumental error? It was happen, okay, when an instrument is not calibrated properly during the manufacturing. For example, in the screw gauge, there is no least count. I mean 0.01 centimeter is a least count. There is no zero error and zero correction. Whenever you are using that screw gauge, you may note that 0.1 or 10 or plus or minus 5, it is a screw gauge least count error. That means zero error or zero correction, because due to that manufacturing errors. So these are called instrumental errors. Without knowing that instrumental, without using the proper instrument, then the experiment will goes in the result will be occur with the errors. Okay. So second one thing, imperfection in experimental techniques or procedures. This error arise due to the limitation of experimental arrangement. Okay. For example, setting up the experiment in a wrong manner and taking readings. Okay. The third one is personal error. The personal carelessness. Okay. Personal error or carelessness, taking the wrong notation, calculations, and then making the wrong setups. All those things are personal errors. And the fourth one, errors due to the external causes. Errors due to the external causes. What is mean by error due to the external causes? Nothing but like temperatures and humidity and moisturization. All those things came when you are doing that experiment. These errors occurs only the external. So maybe the result maybe changes, because we have the one Newton's law of cooling. We have only temperature up to 35 degree, but at the room temperature 30 degree we have to find, because if you are getting winter season or something rainy season, the temperature fall to 27 degree or 26 degree Celsius. After that, if you are taking the reading, you may see the different values of original values or measured values. Okay. The last but not least is a least count error. What is that? Least count error. Least count error, you know very well, right? The point maybe slightly changes from the answer. For example, 5.21 is a true value. You will get 5.22 or 5.23, something like that. These are called least count error. it may be slightly changes. Okay, in systematic errors there are 5 types. The first one, what is the first one? What is that? Yeah, instrumental error. Second one, imperfection techniques. Imperfection techniques or experimental procedure. Third one, personal error. Fourth one, external causes. Errors due to the external causes. The fifth one, least count error. Okay. So these are 5 types of errors comes under the systematic errors. Okay. Random error. Random errors is also called cause error. Chance error. This is due to only the external causes like temperature, voltage, and power supply. Maybe when you are doing that experiment, power supply may be varying. That fluctuation will become. So voltage will be dropping out. Okay, drop out. These kind of errors will randomly occur. So this is also called chance error. We can minimize this error by adding the arithmetic mean of all the research values. For example, you have to get you are getting every time when you are doing the experiment 5.2 to 5.20 like that. What we have to do? You have to take the mean of all these values. Then you will get the perfect minimize this error type of error. Gross errors. Okay, what is mean by gross errors? Gross errors is nothing but what? No? Is carelessness errors. It's a carelessness error. Reading an instrument without setting it properly, or taking observation in a wrong manner, or recording the wrong observations, and using the wrong values for the calculations. Okay, these kind of errors are man-made errors, and also it's only happen when the carelessness. Okay, so how to minimize this kind of systematic errors? Systematic errors are difficult to minimize. Okay, difficult to detect and also minimize, because once the instrumental provided with that error, provided with that wrong instrument, you are using the wrong instrument for example, you have to measure the depth of that depth of that whatever may be depth of that PET bottle. You are using that vernier caliper is good, but you are using that screw gauge, maybe lead to least count error. Okay. So okay, the next one is what is the error analyzers? Error analyzers. How to analyze our errors? How to analyze our errors? So there are 3-4 types. Okay, the first one is absolute error. First one is absolute error. What is mean by absolute error? The difference between true value and measured value. The difference between the true value and measured value. For example, 5.23 is a true value, but you got 5.21. It's a measured value. Then 0.02 is a absolute error. Okay, the difference between the true value and measured value, it is called absolute error. Okay, the second one is mean absolute error. Mean absolute error. So what is mean by mean absolute error? We are taking the mean of this absolute error. It is called mean absolute error. And also this is very very important. The ratio, the relative error, are the true values delta am and mean absolute error is nothing but delta am by n. Okay, number of, that's it, number of counts. That's it. For example, if I have the am is my measure absolute error, then a1 plus a2 plus a3 goes on an, the summation of a1 plus a2 plus a3 up to an. Okay, summation of ai. Okay, that's it. That's mean absolute error. The third one is relative error. Third one is relative error. What is mean by relative error? It's nothing but the ratio between mean absolute error by mean value. Mean absolute error by mean value. That means the relative error will be equal to delta am, mean absolute error by mean value. Mean value. Okay, delta am by am. The fourth one, percentage error. The fourth one is percentage error. What is mean by percentage error? The relative error expressed in the terms of percentage. Okay. The relative error expressed in the terms of percentage, then it is called percentage error. Okay, got it? Now, the propagations of error. Okay, see listen. There are errors in measurement. There are three main types. One is the systematic error. The second one is random errors, and third one is gross error. In error analysis, there are four types. The first one is absolute error. The second one is mean absolute error. The third one is relative error, and fourth one is percentage error. Now, this is very important. Error analysis. Propagations of error. Propagation of errors. Listen. There are four types. Okay, propagation of error. The number of measured quantities may be involved in the final calculations. Okay, but before that, when you are following the propagation of errors, there are four types. First one is error of sum of quantities. I mean errors in the sum of quantities, and errors in the difference in quantities, and product of the quantities, and then division of quantities, and also power of quantities there. Okay, so here the sum and product multiplications of product will be important. Okay, errors in sum of the quantities. Sum of quantities is nothing but your adding. Okay, this is nothing but your addition. Now listen. Let z be the z plus or minus del z. Z plus or minus del z. For example, a measured value a. Okay, it's a true value of a will be equal to a plus or minus del a. A is a true value. Plus or minus del a is nothing but your error. Maybe error in the positive or error may be in the negative. Okay, and b. B plus or minus del b. B is a true value, and plus or minus del b is a sum of errors. Okay, maybe it's in the positive or negative. For example, true value 500. Okay, maybe minus 0.5 we will get, or 500 plus 0.5 we will get. Okay, like that it will go on. So remember that a is the measured value a will be equal to true value plus or minus error, b true value plus or minus error. Okay, delta b is nothing but your error, percentage of error. Okay, now listen. Z we have to find z plus or minus del z. Z is nothing but sum of the quantity. Okay, you may note it right. Z equal to a plus b. Z equal to a plus b. Now z equal to, what is the value of a? A plus or minus del a plus this one b. B plus or minus del b. No problem. Add those things. A plus b plus or minus del a plus del b. What is the a plus b? A plus b is nothing but your z, right? So this one is that it may become z plus or minus del z. Okay, that's it. Listen. Z will be equal to a plus b. Del z will be equal to del a plus del b. Remember that the errors are always in the addition. Okay, when you are adding, when the sum of the quantities, errors will be always in the addition. Error will be included. Okay, never excluded with the true value. Never excluded with the true value. Is always including with that true value. And also it may be changes, minus or plus or minus, but when the errors will be added up always. Errors will be added up always. Okay, so now listen. Turn page. You may have that in page number 23 or 24. Okay, read that question. Example 1.5. The resistance R1 100 plus or minus 3 ohms. The resistance R1 will be equal to 100 plus or minus 3 ohms R2 will be equal to 150 plus or minus 2 ohms. Okay, now we have to find what is the total resistance of the our connector in series. What is the equivalent resistance? R we have to find. So the total R equal to R1 plus R2. So what is that? 100 plus or minus 3 plus 150 plus or minus 2. So 100 plus 150 is a true value, plus or minus 3 plus 2 is a error. So 250 plus or minus 5 ohms. This is the resultant equivalent. This is a 2-mark question. Okay, sometimes they will ask in the 3-mark question also. This is an important question. Okay, R1 they given, R2 they given. You just write R1 plus R2 because errors in the sum of the quantities. Okay, so 100 plus 150, so 250 plus 5 plus or minus 5 is a error. Okay, 5 is an error. The next one, errors in the difference of two quantities. Errors in the difference of errors may be in the difference of two quantities. Okay, same here. A, the measured value A will be equal to A true value plus or minus error. B plus or minus del B. Z equal to A minus B. We have to find. So Z will be equal to A minus B. What is A? A plus or minus del A minus B plus or minus del B. So what will happen? A minus B plus or minus del A plus del B. Okay, do not put minus sign here. I already told you, always errors are added up, never it will be excluded. Maybe you can change the sign of that, but it never be excluded. For example, it may become like this. Okay, plus or minus or it may become like this. Now listen, that's it. Okay, same thing if you are doing for R1 plus R2, R1 minus R2, what will happen? 150 minus 100 plus or minus 5. That's it, 3 plus 2, right? So it will become compared. So 50 plus or minus 5 ohms. That's it. The third one is errors in the product of the two quantities. Errors in the product of the two quantities. Now listen, this is very important. Errors in the product of the two quantities. Product. Okay. Now A, measured value of A will be equal to, what is that? A plus or minus del A. Okay, the errors in the measured value of B will be equal to A plus or minus del B. Okay, A will be equal to A plus or minus del A. B will be equal to B plus or minus del B. We have calculated Z equal to A dot B. That's it. So Z will be equal to A plus or minus del A dot B plus or minus del B. That's it. Product A dot B. Okay, and this one and this one. Plus or minus. Okay, this one and this one. A del B plus or minus. This one and this one. B del A plus or minus del A del B. Now here we will get Z plus or minus del Z. Okay, so now listen, remember that here on the right side, on that means left side and then right side, we have to divide all those things by Z and AB. Z and AB. Now on the left hand side divide by Z, on right side we have to divide by AB. Okay, now is what will happen, z will be cancelled, 1 plus or minus del z by z will be equal to ab will be cancelled, 1 plus or minus a will be there, so a will be cancelled, so delta b by b plus or minus, here bb will be cancelled, so delta a by a, here plus or minus del a dot del b by ab. Now listen, when you are comparing with the measured value, del a is very small, right? When you are comparing with the measured value, del a is very small. For example, this is 5 means it will become 0.1 or 0.2, something like that, or 0.01. When I multiply 0.01 with 0.01, what will happen? It will be makes to least count of 0.1. So we can cancel these things, and 1 will be cancelled. So del z by z will be equal to del a by a plus or minus del b by b. Okay, so del z by z will be equal to del a by a plus or minus del b by b. So based on this we can write that formula also. Example 1.7, example 1.7. If you are taking the plus or minus outside, it will become del a by a plus del b by b. That's it. The sum 1.7 will be equal to the length and breadth of the rectangle they are given. Length and breadth of the rectangle. Length will be equal to 5.7 plus or minus 0.1, and breadth they are given 3.4 into 3.4 plus or minus 0.2. Okay, now listen, we have to calculate what is that, calculate the area of the rectangle with the error limits. Calculate the area with the error limits. Calculate the area of the rectangle. What is the area of the rectangle? Area will be equal to length into breadth. Length into breadth. Now error limits we have to find. First we have to find what is the area. 5.7 into 3.4. Okay, 5.7 into 3.4 will be equal to what is that? 19.38, maybe 19.4 centimeter square. Okay, leave it up. This is your A. Now del A by A will be equal to del L, because L by L into del B by B. Del A by A. What is the del A? We have to find what is the error limit. Okay, del A by what is the A? 19.4. 19.4 will be equal to del L. This is your L plus or minus del L. This is your B plus or minus del B. Okay, so del L is nothing but 0.1 divided by 5.7. Okay, plus or take out plus or minus outside, plus will become, so 0.2 divided by 3.4. That's it. So del A will be equal to 19.4 plus or minus of 0.1 by 5.7 plus 0.2 by 3.4. Okay, calculate all those values, cross multiply and do the sum and find, get the answer del A with the error limits. Okay, so finally you can write we will get 1.5. So what is the total value? A plus or minus del A will be equal to 19.4 plus or minus 1.5 centimeter square. This is the errors in the product. Errors in the product. Same thing for the division also. Okay, division also it will come same. Del A by A will be equal to del B by B. Del Z by Z equal to del A by A by del B by B. Okay, and one more thing. Remember that product and the sum of the two quantities is very important. And now we can go for that significant figures. Okay, we can go for the significant figures. Significant figures. What is meant by significant figures? Okay, for example, the digits, how many digits are used in that significant figure? Remember that there is a important 4 rules. Okay. First one, all non-zeros are significant. All non-zeros are significant. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4 has 4 significant figures. Okay, 7, 8, 9, 6 will have 4 significant. Suppose 7, 8, 6 will have 3 significant. 7, 8 will have 2 significant. Okay, this is how it will go. The zeros between non-zeros. Zeros between non-zeros are significant. 3007 has 4 significant figures. Okay, 301 have 3 significant figures. Like this it will go on. The zeros between non-zeros are significant figures. The trailing zeros are non-significant. Trailing zeros are non-significant. What is meant by non-significant? We cannot include that also. Okay. Suppose we have 37000. It has only 2 significant figures. It has only 2 significant figures. 30. It has only 1 significant figures. 450. It has only 2 significant figures. Okay. 37700. It has only 3 significant. The trailing zeros are non-significant. Suppose the trailing zeros are come with measurements, then it will be significant. 37000 meter, 37,000 meter, then it has 5 significance. 450 centimeter. When it comes with a centimeter or comes with a measurement, you should take these zeros. Okay, it has 3 significant. Powers, you may ignore that. Okay, for example, 12 into 10 power 18. It has only 2 significant figures. Okay, these are the rules of significant figures we have to use. There are the 7 rules. The first one is all non-zeros are significant. All zeros between the non-zeros are significant. All zeros to the right of the non-zero digit but left to the decimal point are significant. For example, 30700.0. These all are significant. Okay. Suppose we have 0.0037. We can ignore all the zeros and we can take this only 2 significant. It has 5 significant. Okay. And then all zeros are significant if they come from the measurement. If the number is less than 1, the zeros on the right of the decimal point and the left on the first non-zero digits are non-significant. This one. Okay. The number of significant figures does not depend upon the system of units used. Okay. Whatever may be. For example, 1.53 centimeter. 3 significance. 0.00153 meter or kilometer. 3 significance. Okay. So this is how it will come. Next one, the rounding off. Next one is rounding off. What is meant by rounding off? Just make a whole number. It is called rounding off. In mathematical terms or scientific terms, we are mostly using this kind of terms, making rounding off. Okay. For example, I have 18.75. 18.75. Okay, no need. 45. 18.45. 47. It's above 7. When the decimal points came above 7 or above 5, then the preceding number increased by 1. So 18.5 we can write. Okay. Suppose if the number comes with 18.43 below 5, the preceding number will be same. It never changes. And one more thing, if the number comes with exactly on 5 or lesser than exactly 5, just look at the previous number whether it's odd or even. If it is even, do not change anything. If it's odd, increase by 1. For example, 18.45 it will become 18.4, but 18.35 will become 18.4. Okay, if it is the odd number, the preceding number will become with 5, exactly 5, and the preceding number will be odd, then it increased by 1. If it is 5, the preceding number will be an odd even number, then it never changes, it will come as same decimal. Okay, there are the 5 rules. If the digit to be dropped in smaller than 5, then the preceding digit should be left unchanged. If the digit dropped is greater than 5, then the preceding digit should be increased by 1. If the digit dropped is 5 and followed by the digit other than 0, then the preceding digit should be raised by 1. If the digit dropped by is 5 or 5 followed by zeros, then the preceding digit is not changed if it is even. If the digit is dropped 5 or 5 followed by zeros, then its preceding digit is raised by 1 if it is odd number. Even number you should not change. For odd number you have to increase it by 1. Inshallah, for this week it is enough. Next class we will see about dimensional analysis. It's very important. There are the 3 type of dimensional analysis and there are 3 uses. Why we are using the dimensional analysis? To make the simple equations. Okay, for example, all the terms comes under only 3 base quantities: mass, length, time. Okay, mass, length and time. All the quantities will come under these basic quantities: mass, length, meter, kilometer, centimeter, millimeter, whatever may be, it comes under length. Gram, kilogram, tons, million, tons, everything comes under mass. The seconds, nanoseconds, picoseconds, whatever may be, it comes under time. So basically all the quantities will come under that 3 terms is called mass, length, time, and that's why it's called basic quantities of dimensional analysis. For example, we know about velocity, right? Velocity equal to distance or displacement by time. So distance always denoted by letter meter, right? So meters comes under length, and times comes under seconds to time. So we can write this LT power minus 1. When it goes there, it will become minus 1. So velocity, the dimensional formula for velocity will be equal to LT power minus 1. For example, we have the force F equal to MA. F will be equal to MA. The mass comes under M, capital M. Always remember this, the dimensional analysis should be in the capital letter. For acceleration, what we have to write? Velocity by time. So mass, velocity we can write LT power minus 1 by time t. When it goes there, t minus 1 will be equal to t minus 2. So M L t power minus 2. Okay, so this is for force. For acceleration we can write velocity by time. So velocity LT power minus 1 for time t. When it goes there, LT power minus 2. That's it for acceleration. This is how we can find whatever. Okay, for the dimensional analysis, for the equation, for the formula, whatever you know, whatever you have to find, we can find the dimensional analysis by using this kind of methods: mass, length and time. For example, you know what is that? V equal to U plus AT, right? Velocity, initial velocity, acceleration, time. See, velocity we know that LT power minus 1. Initial velocity also LT power minus 1. plus acceleration Lt power minus 2. Here also T1 plus 1, so 1 minus 1 will be cancelled, so Lt power minus 1 will be equal to Lt power minus 1 plus Lt power minus 1. So dimensionally they are correct. Okay, so this is how we will see what is the dimension analysis and what is the dimensional variables on next week, inshallah. Okay guys, again I am telling this, please submit your classwork without fail in this week, within this week. Okay, see you again. Allah Hafiz, take care.